Once upon a time, I wanted things better. Once upon a time, I wanted things different. Once upon a time, I used to believe. But as time continued, it only continued to make me think somehow I must have been deceived. For how is it me, somebody who's done so much good, practiced so much good, and attempted to do so much good, was never worth any good? Was it because I was never good in the first place? Maybe. I still have yet to be shown actually otherwise. If I was so good, then why this position? If I was so good, then why wasn't I worth more? I mean, and then I'm told I'm filled with doubt. Because, to be honest, it really hurt to constantly think you're actually talking to God, to think that you matter, that God's voice mattered, that God's opinion mattered. And God called on so many people that never came forward. For one reason or another, they never came forward. And then I'm supposed to continue to believe this fairy tale. But in a way, you all have helped me to be where I'm at by nobody doing nothing, by nobody helping me, by nobody accompanying me, not even being a sounding board, not getting a hug, not getting a help, not receiving $1. Like I charged for any of the shit I've ever done. And then I get nothing because I must have been worth nothing. All the good I've done, all the healing I've done, everything good I ever did clearly must have been for nothing. Did I practice good in my life? I did more than practice good in my life. I thought I was good. But how can I be good if all I receive is misery and sorrow? Maybe I'm not meant to be good. Maybe I'm literally just meant to have this misery. Then maybe it can't be God that's calling out to people. Because if it was God, wouldn't people listen? If it was God, wouldn't I be worth something better? Every time I wanted something good for a pure reason, wouldn't I have been worth it? Why was I always worth so much sorrow? I must have been always bad. And then it's no wonder that I want the earthquake. It's no wonder I want the mountain to come crashing to the earth. It's no wonder I want my shooting star. It's no wonder I want the mystic hail. But if I can make these things happen on my own and I can't seem to get anywhere believing in a love I thought existed, but if you guys didn't love him, to help me, then your love wasn't real. And if his love is real, then who's the one to blame? If I'm just a product of circumstance, then where does all my misery lead me? Was I really worth all the pain I've always received? And if I was worth it, then why did all the so-called wrongdoers always get away with it all? And if any of you believe in God, then how do you not believe in me? I mean, did you actually believe in Jesus? Was he not a man? Was he not sent by God? But who am I? How am I not worth acknowledgement? Then you need to consider, if I'm really talking to God and everyone's really treating me, his wife, the way they are, And if his love really is forever, then he would understand my confusion. He would understand your confusion. But then are your thoughts justified? Are my thoughts justified? Are my wants right or wrong? But if the power's in me, and I've done what I have done when I've put my mind to it, then why couldn't I have the good stuff? Still only worth the bad stuff. Then I must truly be bad. So what was the point of always keeping me alive? And if God knows everything before everything occurs, then why couldn't this have been different? Is it because it's what God wanted? Then why would God have asked for certain things for help? And then if the evils want me killed, well then why would the evils want me killed? If I'm somebody, I'm somebody. If I'm nobody, I'm nobody. But how can I be both? How can I be somebody and still a nobody? Will it ever matter? Will it only matter when I die? For does anybody help encourage me to give me anything to look forward to? Or do I just keep getting dealt more crap my entire life? And then you wonder why I want boom. That shouldn't be no surprise. I thought I was fighting a war. I thought I was trying to win a battle. I was trying to do what I thought I was meant to do. I thought I was on the good side. So why would I release Satan's image? I still can release Satan's image. I'm told all the time by the voices on the spirit box just to be had. But then who wants me? Who wants the image? What's the image worth? Who's saying I'm selling it? But what's it worth to you? If everything has a cost and all the sorrow I've lived is for nothing, then where's the solace in that? If my child being refused his life when I was the only one that wanted his life here and nobody else wanted it enough to believe, then was his life really for nothing? And if he was untouched by this world other than his death, uncorrupted, then why is he bad? And if my boy is nothing, then what's the point of all of this? What's the point of any of it? And if everyone's allowed to kill, then what's the point? And if one life really means nothing, well, what then was Jesus' life worth? And if you're not supposed to talk to dead people, what are you doing praying to him? He's technically dead. What are you doing at any point? And if the power's within me, and I can have what I want, with all my pain and sorrow, and that's all I get, well then why wouldn't I want to give it back? You should give what you get. And if all I get sorrow, well then why not give sorrow? If I ain't worth a home, then are we all doomed? Does anything actually matter? Is one person enough to care about? But if none of you believe, why should I? But if the power's in me, why not do things to help you all see the truth? Why not have an earthquake? And allow things to continue to get worse until everyone wakes up. And if nobody wakes up and everybody wants to be the way they are and not do nothing about nothing, then everything I've done has been for nothing, and then everything should be nothing. And then why is that so bad? What, like people don't believe that there's more after this life? That we really don't live forever? That when we die, we really die and that's just it? And that's why everyone only thinks about themselves. For how can there be a promised land? Why would people be told to believe things and to have it not exist? For does anything matter with that thought view? But yet, does anybody do anything to do anything different in reality? All my efforts have been for naught, and every time I thought I was worth anything good, it never came. I mean, after all, my child wasn't worth having a home after losing her father, right? Her being his only child wasn't worth her having her home when everybody only cared about materialistic shit. What's a child? Why is she important? Why wasn't my boy important? Why wasn't all the other ones that were killed not important? Does life really mean nothing? And if the living suffer, well then, isn't that all I've done? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my decision is fuck it all. The whole world. Why keep any of it around? Nobody wants to believe. Everybody's actions showing otherwise. For if anyone actually wanted to believe, then what's up? Hello? I got a boat that can help with the wave that's designed to take the amount of pressure from outside external forces, and if for any reason it was breached, it would still float. But does anybody want it? They haven't yet. Every time I've put it out there, it's been shot down by the failure of a response of anyone believing other than me. So then what's the point of me doing anything if nobody else wants to? My 100% free power generator. No fuel needed. And I know it works. And I've done it and I've tested it, but what difference does that matter if nobody else actually wants free power? I mean, I haven't seen nobody else come forward yet about it, wanting it. So what happens to my generator? Nothing, apparently. And the convenience of not having to pay for electricity. Not important. Everybody else's actions by failure to acknowledge it shows it. How is God important if God says he's God and nobody acknowledges him? How is God important if everyone wants to put unnecessary blames on God? And then how is his woman technically nobody? And before, well, technically I claimed God first by being given a choice between, when Kelly made me choose between him and God, and I chose God. You can't get no better, clearer declaration of love than that. I think God tells you himself he loves me. But I'm supposed to believe I'm good when the only thing I get is crap. And how can not any of you understand how none of this helps anything? And then if all I'm worth is crap, well then why can't everything else be crap? It's already crap. How many of you are happy with everything? How many of you are happy relationships. I mean, I hate to say it, but because of my beliefs, my relationship has actually been hurt by the failure of everyone else's responses to show any faith themselves. And then I keep wanting to think that I belong to God. But then the world continues to show me, why would I be worth God's love? And then I'm told because of my actions, apparently it's Satan I belong to. If Satan is somebody of constant sorrow, and all I get is sorrow, and I'm a product of the love that I receive, then I must clearly belong to Satan, because I ain't been worth nothing good. Nothing good comes forward. And then if I belong to Satan, well then, it's what everyone else wants to believe. But who's to say Satan's bad just because of all the pain and sorrow? Who's to say I'm bad just because of all the pain and sorrow? And it gets confusing because, again, I thought I was part of the true God. And in my head, that God has a particular view. But then all I see is people hiding underneath cafeteria tables. What looks like cafeteria tables in a room with lighting. And there's somebody walking in the back. You guys are getting a vision as it's coming to me right now. Could this be something that's getting ready to happen at a school? At a hospital cafeteria, maybe? There's people hiding under tables. Oh, so is that person looking around where there's an earthquake? And everyone's hiding under tables in the cafeteria? Everything's shifting. Oh my goodness. People are running. I don't know, it's a little blurry. I can't tell if that's water. It's like fluctuating. Well, I guess you guys just got a glimpse of a vision. As soon as I say that, I start to see another building. Looks like an outside parking lot view. What else is going on? Let's see. Why would I be seeing an outside? Is it because people are outside because of the earthquake? On there, what looks like a mystic fog. Or is that mist? That's roaring water rushing in. Oh my goodness. It's totally taking over the building. There's only one floor left that ain't covered. It's just rushing in. There's all kinds of debris in the wave. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing screams. I'm hearing what just seems like I don't know how to describe this, not really what it sounds like, but it sounds like a train, but it's not a train. Is it the sound of a roaring wave I'm hearing? Do you see anything else? People swimming. People trying to swim. Trying to hold on to objects. That's a supermarket. Somebody's on their knees holding on to somebody, begging them not to leave or trying to hold on to them or something. There's a child. She's trying to pass it off. She's begging them to take it. It looks like they're refusing to help. It's a different one. This one's different. What's going on here? Is this a factory? This looks like a factory. What's going on in the factory? People running. What are they running from? And that's gone. Here's another one. What is this? I'm not exactly sure what that is. Is it a TV screen? Somebody in a suit and tie. I can't tell who that is. It seems so small, it's hard to make out who. But it looks like a dark blue, almost black over jacket with a white undershirt and a tie. Flashing lights. What does that mean? It looks like a TV screen. See something else going on. It looks like an old school phone flashing. On the TV screen, they're still talking. And the whole TV screen's just focused on this one person in this suit. Can't tell, but it looks like an older gentleman. See if I can make out more. It's gone. Sirens? I'm hearing sirens, but I'm not hearing sirens, but I'm hearing sirens. Lots of sirens. Of every kind. Is this a product of my want of an earthquake? Is this a product of the wave warning? Are all of these different events, or are they all the same? It's hard to tell. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm almost 24 minutes into this. I'm sorry some short rambling has turned into all of this. I might as well let you all go. And with that in mind, I guess only time will show everything. For if there is a love out there for me, then I know my true love will understand why everything feels like it does for me. Because true love will understand, especially the love from my man. Anyhow, I can't sleep, but I want to let this go before I get some more visions and share with you guys stuff as it came through. So, hey, there's the first one for me to do with all of you. Well, when those come to pass, you can't say I didn't tell you, because every time that occurs, it always happens. There's no avoiding it. It's never been wrong yet. At least I can say I know that for a fact. So with that in mind, this spirit bride, lost within a rhyme, is gonna go and look for another dime. I don't know how to end this. Feels like I've gotten slack for saying peace out. And so many people view wrong when I say, in death shall we meet again. For that only matters, I suppose, for those who die, even though at some point we will all die. And for everyone who doesn't get the chance to look me in the eye, I guess they'll never know the kind of person I actually am. Because I'm just a person, living a real life, sharing everything as it's occurring. And people form their own opinions, may they be right or wrong. All I know is, I thought I was supposed to be good, and I'll hate to see the good, and the good hasn't came yet. So if all I'm worth is sorrow and pain, then who must it be that I actually belong to? Because if God's people thought I belonged to God, they would be there. And if Satan's people thought I belonged to Satan, they would be there. And if I'm just supposed to be had and nobody comes forward, well, I guess I was had. Because regardless, my visions will come to pass. They always have. I was right when I told my child's father how old he would be and what he would die from, and he did. I was right when I tried to warn my ex-husband about the stroke and everything else, and it happened. I tried to tell him about a machine, and he got I think it was a pacemaker or something. Anyhow, I've tried to tell everyone about COVID. I remember telling my sister the most details, but she don't want to talk about that. Even though I know I was right when it happened. So that means, for some of you who didn't follow some of my other videos, if I was right about COVID before it ever happened, then I'm going to be right about the fact that it mutates in the beef and does a whole bunch more stuff. Wait, that's why we don't drink milk anymore. That's why we don't eat beef anymore. Because it mutates in the beef. But that stuff occurs. Why should any of you believe me until it happens, right? Why should any of you believe me enough for them to start pushing to start testing the meat? Because it's going to mutate in the beef. I've seen it. I know it. And by the time it gets found out why everyone's getting sick again, and what is this new mutated virus and where did it come from, only those who believed would have known. And only those who find this after the fact will know, oh, she did know it. But will you come forward then? Will you believe I'm God's then? For some of you, no matter what, you always think me negative. For who are you to say who I am? Ain't that God's job? But even though he said who I was, did anybody listen? And who are you to say who God really is? Isn't that why we call God, God, without giving God any other name? Because God is more than what any of us could even fathom, let alone me. And to be so privileged to be considered his woman. But then to be God's woman and to be ignored by people, does that not mean destruction for the earth? For if I quit smoking, what difference does it make if I don't have a home? And if everything's going to go a particular way anyhow, well then, what difference does it matter? For if anyone wanted to believe, and I still died, but things were on a better road, well then things could be further shown to be after the fact. But who's willing to grasp on to any of that? For who am I to choose when all of you all had a part in the decision? By the actions that everyone did and did not do. And if I'm just a product of my environment and my situation, well, was I still not worth help? Was my child still not worth help? Just being a normal person going through some fucked up things in her life, was I still not worth it? Was I still worth the system failing me in every way? Is everyone else that the system has actually failed? Were you worth the failure? All the people that do so-called wrong and get away with it, were they really better than you? When you knew you were done wrong and justice was never seeked out, where's the solace in any of that? Oh shit, here it is, 32 minutes. I am done rambling. I guess no need for me to review. Just go ahead and post, and all of you can think whatever it is, because all I am is a real person in a real situation with real issues, and no matter what, I didn't want to be alone. But the physical left me alone, and death was my only friend. And then I found more love with God. Did anyone want to acknowledge that? So, thank you all for helping everything be whatever it is that it is. Until next time. If there's next time. Because there's always a tomorrow. For some. But even if we die, there's still a tomorrow. For there'll always be a tomorrow. Because even in death, death is not the end. And death is my only friend. And I keep looking for